welcome to Martin and Roman's Sunday Best.
Yeah, every Sunday I'm sat here with my dad, just keeping you company with some brilliant guests as well in the morning.
Joining us today is someone who's used to getting up very early. Not just the sort of early you know, right? Ranvir Singh, good morning, Britain.
Next to me is presenter James Humphrey to tell us why he's teamed up with some of the biggest names in the sporting world.
Hello. And because we're keeping a safe social distance as always, our final guests are going to be zooming in.
Yeah, stars of the ever-popular stage show, Educating Rita, Stephen Tompkinson and Jessica Johnson. They're going to tell us why the show must go on despite the difficulties of social distancing.
And as always, we've got the cloud watching over all of us.
Yes,
here it is.
Yeah, the elusive cloud is swarming above our heads right now to give us a few games, just to spark that little bit of rivalry between me and my old man. Not that it's actually needed, to be fair, it's there all the time. Now, before we do go on, Jake, Ranvir, I've been doing like a little bit of a question at the top of each show. I'm asking, what do you reckon was the #1 record this week in 2009?
Oh, I'm so bad at this.
You've got to work out what you were doing.
Yeah. So that was 2009 was my first year hosting Formula 1 for the BBC. Okay. So I actually don't know anything that happened in that time because I was like just constantly travelling.
But what was the montage music?
All right, I'm going to say... Yes! Yeah! I'm going to say a Tiny Temper track.
Oh, a Tiny Temper track.
Cool.
Okay, very good. Ranvir, what are you saying?
Could it have been One Direction? I don't even know. I'm just going to say that because they've spanned such a long time, haven't they?
It was their 10th anniversary this year, so 2020, so they only started in 2010.
Good effort. That's Ranvir's answer.
That was good call. Good call.
Close, wasn't it?
Yeah, One Direction. Dad, what do you think?
I'm going to say the big record at that time was Lady Gaga Poker Face.
You shouldn't do that to anyone's face, but anyway, it's not Lady Gaga. The answer actually is Black Eyed Peas with I Got a Feeling. It's this track.
I got a feeling.
You would have definitely used this in a montage. You would have used this one in a montage. I think it was actually one of the longest running #1s ever.
It was, I think, yeah. But did you know, here's a little fact for you, Black Eyed Peas fact. Did you know that Nicole Scherzinger actually auditioned for the band and Fergie got the role?
That's quite big. That's quite big. I don't really know what happened to Nicole Scherzinger after that.
Yeah.
You know, really obviously took to her, never made it after that audition, clearly. I mean, but those auditions, they do come and go. Jobs must come and go all the time. I mean, Ranvir, has there ever been a job that you've been up for that you never got, but almost it was like a blessing in disguise?
All the time. Like, you want everything, don't you? Just like, why has that person got that gig out on the phone to your agent? No, but like, the funny thing is that sometimes I haven't actually done a job interview for a very long time.
Yeah.
I actually didn't get my very first job in television. So I used to work in radio for a long time. And then I went, this was in BBC Manchester, and I went upstairs and I was like, right, they do North West Tonight, the local TV show. I went up and I did a screen test and I did all of this, and I'd never done TV before and I never got my first job.
Yeah.
But in a way, not getting it is a good thing sometimes, because then they told me why. And I was like, OK, I definitely want to do it. You know what I mean? It sort of made me
That's a really positive way to look at it, I've got to say. Not getting it is a good thing. That's nice. Yeah. What about you, Jake?
I mean, similarly, I've got a pile of rejection letters at home because I failed my A-levels,
What are you keeping them for?
Oh, I think because I think they're good. I think it's a good reminder that it wasn't always.
Yeah,
it's not easy. And I remember failed my A-levels, got a job in TV, but then made the decision to leave Norwich, which a lot of people do, to go down to London to try and sort of make it in television. And I was sleeping on people's floors and sofas and getting rejected. And the most painful one at the time. So I really loved The Big Breakfast, like we're talking quite a long time ago now, like the late 90s, early 2000s, and I used to watch Johnny Vaughan, and I was like, I want to be that. And when I now see clips of my early presenting, I was all like arms out here, like trying to be like Johnny Vaughan. And I auditioned for The Bigger Breakfast and didn't get it. Yeah. And I actually rang my mum on that occasion. I had a small cry on the phone. I don't think this career is for me, Mum. I'm going to come home to Norwich.
I'm more questioning whose sofas were you sleeping on and how big are the sofas?
They were long sofas.
Like an L shape like this.
They were big sofas.
Yeah. Dad, you've had a couple of ones. So, like, there's been stuff that I know that you've been up for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an actor, right? You know, you get turned down a lot, don't you?
What was the #1?
The #1 has to be, after the Cray twins, I went to live in Los Angeles, where you were born, straight after. And I went up for James Bond.
I knew you were going to say that.
Did you?
You just look like you should be James Bond, right?
Well, we're not telling that.
No, I sat in front of Barbara Broccoli and the whole gang, and it was at the time when Pierce Brosnan was going to get it.
Yeah.
And so I went up for James Bond. And I dined out on that for ages.
Do you know why you didn't get it? You were too young. You were too young and good looking.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
We can actually find out. Do you know what? Go on, we'll let everyone decide now, okay? Because this is your big moment, right? You're finally going to get to do it. Down that camera over there, give us your best James Bond. You ready?
Right,
You've got to turn into it, though. You've got to go proper for it. There you go.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Ranvir.
Thank you.
Did you do that in the audition? Did you actually have to do that for them?
No.
No.
They give you some piece of Emmerdale or something to read, I think.
Can I just say something, right? There's not a single story I've got for the rest of this show that matches that story.
No, do you know what,
I should just leave now.
This is the problem. It's like he's a two sheds. If you've got a shed, he's got two.
Oh, that's
what he is. But anyway, you didn't get the gig. Pierce Brosnan got it anyway. So listen, Ranvir has been very busy helping families change their lifestyles and saving them staggering amounts of money in her show Eat, Shop, Save.
Thank you for having me.
No, mate, it's so nice to have you here.
Really?
And I mean, tell us about the show. It's the 4th series that you're making of this. I mean, did you know that it was going to carry on this long and keep going and people love it like they do?
Well, what I always thought when we first started 4 years ago was that, you know, health and fitness and losing, there's a lot of programs that did a lot of extreme weight loss, fat farms and all of that sort of stuff, and it was all very sort of on the kind of point and look at them and go, gosh, that's never me, where's my other bag of crisps? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What this programme really wanted to do, I wanted to talk to people who would live a life a bit like me, sort of hard-working parents, know they've got bad habits, know they should be doing things slightly differently, but you're just so tired all the time of juggling everything that when it comes to meal times at 5, I call it the witching hour, you know, that 5 o'clock the sort of crushing sensation that you haven't decided what to give the kids and you've got to think of something and then you just go for the nuggets, you go for the things that are convenient and you know you shouldn't be doing it.
And then you go for the 5 o'clock glass of wine.
Well, that's it. Exactly. So this programme really speaks to the heartland of how a lot of hard-working families live their lives and that they don't want to pass on bad habits to their kids, and that's always the thread for all families, and I think that's just a universal feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is so fantastic. As you say, it's the 4th year that you're doing this. I mean, let's take a quick look.
Let's start with the food, shall we? We do eat lots of unhealthy foods because it's all fried. It's fast food, basically.
And so when was the last time that you can remember anybody ate vegetables in the house?
Okay.
Is that a tricky question? Maybe I ate 3-4 days ago, but it's like once a month, if that happens.
So most of the 8-week challenge then was filmed in lockdown.
Yeah, well, luckily we managed to kick off the show. You know, I went to see them in their homes, and that wasn't socially distanced. It's funny to think that there was ever a time when we didn't do it socially distanced. Yeah. And so we kicked them off. Then they all got started, and then, of course, lockdown happened. So some of the show had to change. They ended up filming most of it themselves. But actually, we did go back and do the reveal at the end, but it was like in a garden without the big party. But what was really interesting was that the families who were in the series this year said, listen, we are so happy that we were able to have something to focus on in lockdown. It was positive. It was about saving money when loads of them were being furloughed. Yeah. You know, we were all being told to go out for a 1 hour of exercise religiously, and so they were able to do that as a family. And of course, we could only really go shopping once a week because you didn't really want to be queuing up all the time. You know how it was.
Well, we were all in the same situation,
we
weren't
were all
we?
in the same. So in a way, we were all living the Eat, Shop, Save life. But these guys had our experts. You know, we were helping them all along the way.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't know how you've got so much time at the moment, because I mean, not only are you doing that, you've got a new show that you're going to start with Alex Beresford as well, from Good Morning Britain. I mean, what's it like working together once again?
He's a good guy. He's promised me that, because I put on a stone in lockdown, right? I was just eating rubbish and drinking stuff, right? Anyway, so when I say stuff, you know what I mean. Anyway, and so he said that he's going to try and get me fit when we're filming. Yeah. So this is his promise to me. But yeah, it's called All Around Britain. It's going to be on a Sunday morning. It's to be neighbours on a Sunday morning, 11:25. So what we're saying is, look, there's loads to celebrate, loads of places to see that we've probably heard about but never bothered seeing because we always hop on a plane. So hopefully it's just like a really positive, optimistic look at life in the UK.
But we all say that, don't we? We always go on holiday, but we never know what's on our doorstep. You know, we're all exactly the same. We all do it. But also, I heard you got a new puppy.
Oh my goodness, who hasn't heard about that? I'm like a new mum.
we have got a picture. We have got a picture.
Well, let's take a look at the puppy. Oh my God!
My little fur ball.
That's just not fair.
Beautiful.
So cute.
Now, Ranvir, I want to talk to you about the name. We both do. My dad loves the name.
I do.
Just tell us the name.
So the name is Schmizzles.
Yes, beautiful.
You can't shout that in the park.
Exactly.
Schmizzles.
I do.
You can't tell a dog off if it's called Schmizzles. Like, bad girl. Schmizzles.
Yeah, I know.
I assume it is a girl.
No, it's a boy.
It's a boy.
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better.
Ranvir, listen, great having you with us this morning.
It's
you're going
lovely
to stay
to be
around.
here.
Yeah, you're going to join in with some games and stuff, right?
I cannot wait.
And Eat, Shop, Save on ITV, 7:30s on Thursdays. You've got to see it.
Yeah, last week I asked you to post pictures of you and your families watching Sunday Best because just like seeing what you're up to whilst we're on. So I thought I'd do a couple of shout-outs here. So we have got Bethany and Penny the Pug in Middlesbrough.
Beautiful.
Up early on a Sunday, checking out the show. We've also got Samantha and granddaughter Emma in Lancashire. Now, I do want to say as well, because I ask every week, I say, I'll send in a Sunday selfie and you know, let us see you watching the show. What I don't mean is send a picture of your TV. That's not it. That's not it. But what you can do is you can merge the two together.
It's been someone's birthday.
Yeah. So merge the two together, just like Nia's done here. Watching the show after an early morning workout in Peterborough. She's got her face and the TV.
That's the right way to do it.
Yeah, there you go. And if you want a Sunday selfie shout out on the show, then please do get in touch. Just drop us an email to sundaybest@cactustv.co.uk. Time for a quick break, but still to come. Sports presenter Jake Humphrey tells us why he's been looking into the lives of some of the most successful people in the world.
Plus, if you're looking for something new to watch this week, we've got some great recommendations for you.
Yeah, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Welcome back to Martin and Roman's Sunday Best.
Ranvir Singh and Jake Humphrey are here, and a little later on, Stephen Tompkinson and Jessica Johnson are joining us to tell us about being in one of the first theatre productions back on stage since the lockdown. Now, as you'll know, every Sunday, my dad and I, we take on a couple of fun games just to find out who's the real winner of the Kemp family. And to help us, we're joined by some very special families.
Now, on my side today, we've got the Smithy family from Bexley Heath. That's Mum Jess, Dad Nick, 5-year-old Amelia, 7-year-old Isabel, and Jess's half-brother, Jack. How you doing, guys? You all right?
Yeah, we're good.
Good? Ro, you're going to love this, right? You know what? This is the maddest story. So Jess asked Nick to decorate their living room tastefully. So when they go out, Nick buys 6,000 gummy bears and plasters them all over the living room wall. Now, that's not what I call tastefully, Nick, but we've got a clip. Watch this.
Now, what is this?
Decorating.
Decorating?
Yeah, you said decorate front room.
Yeah, we discussed paint.
No. No.
Yeah.
You said decorate it tastefully.
Yeah.
Those were your words. Decorate it tastefully. This has got to be the tastiest wall anyone has ever done.
I can't believe it. Oh, that is wastage.
Well, now, see, these we're going to get thrown in the bin. These are out of date. Taj was going to throw them in the bin.
Happily throw them in the bin.
Why?
Not stick them on my wall.
Jeff, what on earth did you say when you walked in and you saw the wall?
Oh, it's awful.
Oh, dear. But this isn't the first time he's done anything like this, is he? He's a bit of a prankster, isn't he?
All the time.
What else has he done?
We stuck pennies to the wall.
He what?
12,500 pennies to the wall for the NHS.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's for a good cause, but I mean, there's other ways. Could have gone for a run or something, done one of those kind of things.
I could have done. I was quite bored with the kids though, so it kept us busy for 10 hours.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. But listen, you know, I'm sitting next to someone here who was a bit of a prankster as well. You know, he grew up on that kind of a whole YouTube generation, and he was always pranking his mum and dad, right? And at one point, right, he knew that a donut with jam in it was my favourite food in the world. Yeah. So what Ro did was he took the jam out of it and he replaced it with the hottest chilli sauce the world has ever known. And we've got a clip of it. Yeah. Let's have a look.
Yeah. You filmed it as well, lovely.
Yeah, had to. So yeah, so here he is, blissfully unaware.
Yeah.
And he actually took his one, he'd been saving, and I knew he'd go for it. My only worry was that at the actual bite, our poor dog comes in just to check it out, see if she can get a little bit in the action. And take this out. Ready? He's got it now. He's done it.
I swear.
There it goes. And then carnage.
Oh, man. It isn't water.
It was so hot, I thought my eyeballs were going to come out of their sockets. It was so hot.
And water is the worst thing you can do.
I've heard people say don't go for the tap, and he's straight.
You're straight in the tap.
You don't know, do you? You know, when you're burning, when you're on fire, it's the first thing you got liquid. But guys, listen, brilliant. Thank you very much for coming on the show today.
So nice to have you guys. And on my side, please put your hands together. We have got the Grant family from Croydon. Mum, Melinda, Dad, Sean. Children, a prayer and a promise. Now, a prayer, I think I need to watch out because it's my understanding that you've now become the UK's youngest radio presenter at just 6 years old. Very good. Very good. I've got a clip of you in action. I mean, take a look at a prayer here.
Make sure you listen to the Beat London 103.6 FM. Make sure you listen to my Kids Crown show last Saturday of every month at 10 AM.
Oh, amazing!
I'm gonna have to be worried for my job. I think, isn't that right, Fred? You think I need to watch out, don't I?
That was a polite yes.
Yeah, it was a polite yes. Listen, guys, thank you so much for being here today. It's so lovely to have you. It is time to play our first little game. Jake, you'll be on my side with the Grants, and Ranvir, you're with my dad and the Smithies.
Together.
There you go. Right. As always, we need a judge, so let's welcome back one of our old faces.
No, you can't say that.
Well, no, I don't mean...
You can't say old faces.
I mean she's been on the show before.
It's Grandma Maureen.
Yeah, I didn't mean it like that.
How are you, Grandma Maureen?
Fantastic.
Good. Now, since we last met, you have started a Facebook group, right, called Grandmas Are Us. It sounds like Del Boy's car number plate, doesn't it? But what's it all about? What are you doing?
Well, just wanted to have a page where grandmothers could be a bit free and talk about what they want to talk about without other people listening or reading what they're talking about. So I give tips on there and things like that.
Love it, love it. Well, welcome back to the show.
There you go, welcome back. Right, let's play a game called... Let me introduce you. I would sing that, but otherwise a certain Robbie would probably have a problem with it. We'll be glad to know, though, that this game is pretty straightforward, guys. Okay. All right, so the Cloud is going to play the introduction to a song, and the first team to recognise the song buzzes in. Right, now we asked each of our families to make a homemade buzzer. Let's start with the Grant family. Let's see your homemade buzzer, please, guys. Yeah. Very good, very good.
And guys, over here, let's see your buzzer.
Very good.
Right. So all I want you to do is buzz in with your answers as quick as you can, and the team with the most correct answers wins, all right? Now the granny judge, Granny Maureen, is going to keep scores. All right, you ready? You're still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Great.
He's here. Right, let's play. Can we have our first song, please?
Come on, Grant family.
Come on. Smithies, come on, boy. Smithies, you've got it. Smithies, what's your answer?
Whitney Houston.
And what's the song?
Yay!
Very good, very good. the next song, please.
Oh.
Come on, family.
Do you know it, guys? Smithies.
Dance Monkey.
Very good. Who's it by?
Dance for me, dance for me, dance for me.
Well done. You're on it. Smithies are ruling this.
Oh, don't. Grant family, right. If you see me going like this, that means I know. All right, okay, cool. Right, should we go for another song?
Yeah.
Here we go, one more. This one, taking this one.
Alabama.
This is, no, it's not that. This one is Busted Year 3000. Oh. Oh, wow.
I'll give you a high five if it's legal.
I think it was a commiseration point, and that's about it. Families, well done. Let's find out who won officially, unfortunately, with Maureen. Maureen, over to you. Go on, tell me the bad news.
Martin's team was the winner.
Yay! Families, thank you so much. You have been great sports as always. Now, if your family fancies joining us on the show, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, drop us an email with your name, contact number, and why you'd like your family to be on our teams. Email to sundaybest@cactustv.co.uk. Now, Jake, Humphrey, you've spent the last few weeks looking into the lives of some of the best out there. I mean, the most successful out there, and the biggest achievers. Now, with this, it's not just about sports people that we're used to seeing you talk to as well. It's people from business and the economy world. I mean, how would you describe this podcast?
So it's called the High Performance Podcast, and it is speaking to high performance individuals, whether they are artists, entrepreneurs, business people, sports people. Because, as I've said, I grew up in a small village in Norfolk, and I had the most amazing upbringing, but I used to see really high achievers, and I used to watch them and think, man, it's a shame I'm never going to get there because I don't know the secret that they know for high achievement. And then when I landed my job in Formula One, I suddenly found myself around like billionaire CEOs and team principals and Formula One drivers and all the sort of musicians and celebs that would come into the paddock. So I actually just decided to ask the question, what is the secret? And do you know what the answer was?
What?
There is no secret. And that was an absolute light bulb moment for me, because I thought, hold on, if there is no secret, I can literally achieve anything I want. And the great news about that is if I can, so can anybody else. And I know sometimes it sort of feels like, I don't want it to be preachy and I don't want it to be like putting pressure on people, but the reality is, if you decide you really, really want something, and if you listen to the podcast, then you'll realise that a lot of the high achievers talk about 100% responsibility, not blaming other outside factors. We talk about fault versus responsibility. Don't worry about fault. Bad things will happen, right? It's not your fault, but it's still, sadly, your responsibility to live the life that you want.
It's so inspirational listening to these guys speak, listening to you and your conversations. I absolutely love it. Who else have you got lined up?
Oh, we've got some brilliant people lined up, actually. We're going to be speaking to Frank Lampard in the not-too-distant future. We've got Johnny Wilkinson on the list as well.
One of the things that you talk about in it a lot is taking that 100% control.
And
I mean, with that in mind, I do like this amazing video of your son, Sebastian, taking control in a bit of rugby practice. Take a look at this. Ready? Hit the bag, son. Hit the bag. Hit the bag.
Oh, yeah! I love that boy.
What a good boy.
That is good. Johnny Wilkinson's going to be scared.
I'll be showing Johnny that video. And I remember when afterwards I said to him, wow, what did you think of that? And he went, oh, I smashed that bag, Dad. And he was like, you know, when your children are so proud of what they've just done. Oh, he's a magic little thing.
I love it. Listen, we've got to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be chatting more to Jake. Plus, we've got some great suggestions to keep you entertained over the next week. We'll see you in a few minutes.
welcome back to Mine and Roman's Sunday Best.
Ranvir Singh and Jake Humphrey are here, and a little later on, Stephen Tompkinson and Jessica Johnson will be joining us from their rehearsal room, where they are busy putting together a stage production of Educating Rita.
Now, we were just talking to Jake Humphrey about his new podcast, which I absolutely love. But listen, you have got the dream job for any kid, haven't you? You go to great events, you meet the best sports stars in the world. I mean, how did it start?
It's great. I mean, talking about the High Performance podcast, it started from failure. And we talk a lot on the pod about failure is a good thing. Failure isn't the opposite of success. Failure is the route to being successful, right? So I failed my A-levels. I then went back to school. Amazingly, the day that I started back at school, there was a letter from a local TV channel asking for people to go and do work experience. I turned up and I said, look, I failed my A-levels. My mates have gone around the world. They've gone to uni. I'm just looking for something to do. Can I come and work here? And they used to pay me £5 cash to work all day Saturday and all day Sunday, moving sets, making tea, operating auto cue, being a sound man. And they had very little money, so the presenter of the show left. And the producer made me the most unbelievable financial offer. He came and he said, look, we're looking for a presenter. We think you might fit the bill. While you're doing your A-level retakes, you can do this. We will double your money.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
So I would genuinely earn £10 cash for hosting a TV show right at the start of my career. And then someone said, you need to make a show reel. And I didn't know what it was at the time, but we all do now. That kind of the best bits of your presenting. And that landed me a job on children's BBC. And that led to Formula 1. And now I'm lucky enough to do the football for BT Sport.
Broadcasting during this time has been super tough for everyone. I think I've only ever done one radio show from home, and I thought, stuff that, I can't do it any longer, right? I've got to go into the studio. You did it for quite a while, obviously, because there's so many cams. Take a look at this photo. Now, this looks like a bit of a disaster, because it all looks good on the left-hand side. Why is Peter Crouch upside down?
Yeah. Crouchy and technology wasn't a good mix, actually, during the shutdown. I mean, I think that photo probably sums up what life was like at that time.
I mean, it looked like you were very happy going back into the studio, though. This is your first shot back.
Happy?
Very happy.
Very chilled out.
Very happy.
Well, I'm a big fan of The Office, and you know
I was very jealous because you were there, you were on the big day that a lot of people wanted to be there for the FA Cup final. Broadcasting from an empty stadium, I mean, you've got a little bit of a shot that you shot on your phone, presumably. I mean, looking at that there, I mean, an empty stadium for one of the biggest games in English football, was it weird? Very weird.
I mean, actually, if you ever watch the highlights back, when Aubameyang scores his second goal, you hear Rio go, "Oh, that is nasty!" You can literally hear everything that's happening inside the stadium. And do you know what? We've sort of got used to it a bit, right? But that brought it home to us when it's the biggest stage of all, the FA Cup final, and there's no fans. I don't think that we will ever take the fans for granted again in any sport, because we're realising that they kind of, these brilliant moments that we see, they're not put into context if there isn't tens of thousands of people there off their seat cheering them. So it was a weird experience.
I mean, yeah, Jay, I was very jealous of you being at the FA Cup.
And I'm sorry that you can't be there. You know, that's a day for the fans.
Yeah. Remind us again, who was it that won again?
I think it might have possibly been Arsenal.
Yeah, it was Arsenal, Jake, but thank you so much for being here, mate, and you can download the High Performance podcast right now, and new episodes being released every Monday.
Now, I know the Smithy family have got a question for you as well.
Great.
Jake, what's the worst job you've ever had?
Great question. I mean, I've had a lot. My parents had a sort of real work ethic, right? And I don't know what you're like with your kids, but I was sent out to do a paper round, and there were so many papers on a Sunday, the bag was out here, and I used to have to fill up the bag twice. But I think it's good for you. The worst job, I mean, I tell you the worst job was one I didn't actually get. And how about this, right? Me, my big sister Rachel, and a friend, during one summer, Mum and Dad said, come on, you need to be working a bit more, go and earn some proper money, we're not going to give you any money. We went for a job interview to work in a vegetable packing factory. Those two got offered the job I didn't. How bad was my interview for packing vegetables that I was the only one of the three where they went, don't really fancy him here.
What? Like, it still hurts, doesn't it? It still hurts.
Of course it does, man.
He's at home packing all the vegetables.
I would have been really good at that job, by the way.
But they're not the only ones with the question. The Grant family, you've got a question for Ranvir. What's your question, guys?
We wake up really early Have you ever overslept?
Yes, well, my alarm goes off at 2:20 in the morning when I'm presenting the programme in the studio, and a little bit later, yes, I have. But it's a horrible feeling because usually what you're waken up by is the phone ringing, and it's your producer saying, where are you? The taxi's been waiting, where have you been? But to deflect matters here a little bit, when Kate Garraway came back from the jungle, she overslept and missed the whole show. I missed half an hour, so I'm basically putting it over to Kate Garraway now.
I think, do you know
she
what?
was jet lagged, right?
Yeah, she was jet lagged. I love that moment though, when you are late. I mean, I've done it before, and you know, everyone else says it. It's, you do the panic dance. You get up, you don't quite know what you did. Trousers, you know, you don't quite know what you're doing. But yeah, now as well as catching up on Eat, Shop, Save as well, and listening to Jake's podcast, we've got a few other TV recommendations just for you to watch this week in...
Yep, our best picks from the stuff on the box and online.
Yeah, so let's start with some of the best telly. Now, I love this, love her as well, The Trouble with Maggie Cole. You can see it on BritBox. It's Dawn French starring as Maggie. Take a look.
I love Dawn French. I always love her, don't you?
She's amazing. I could watch any... I haven't watched that, so thank you for that recommendation.
Really always. Yes. Now, I've got one for you. Enid on BritBox. The story of Enid Blyton's life. From being an unpublished young woman to a household name, starring Helena Bonham Carter and Matthew McFadden. Now, Ro, you started off when you were a kid. You were reading The Famous Five, weren't you?
Yeah.
You finished it yet?
Let's take a look.
I probably am.
Although there have been subterranean rumblings regarding
the idea that I don't write my own books, I'd like to make it clear, here and now, that those rumours have absolutely no foundation in truth.
Of course. I never suggested for a moment that you're...
It is very important that I make it clear, for the sake of all my young readers out there. They trust me implicitly. Whether they're in palaces or tenements, they take from my books a feeling of security, a sense of being anchored, and a sure knowledge of what is right and what is wrong.
Really good. Ranvir, you have a recommendation?
Yeah, so loads of people have already watched it, but Modern Family, 7 seasons, which is brilliant, because what I needed was something that my son Tishan and I can sit down and watch. So we're a bit naughty, I let him watch Stranger Things, but I was with him, covered his eyes over the naughty bits and the sort of, the really gory bits. Then we were like, what are we going to watch now? So Modern Families, I think it's really funny, and there's loads of humour at different levels. Yes, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Jake, what about you?
My one is the total opposite, though, of sitting and watching something with your family, because my wife only likes that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, she just wants happiness in her life. Yeah. And sometimes I'm like, I want something a little bit more edgy. So I've got into something called Fear City, which is on Netflix, and it's basically about how the police force in New York City brought down the mob by bugging all of the houses of the bosses who ran the crime families. It's not one to watch with the kids around there. Let me be clear about that. It's pretty full on, but it's a true story and it is compelling. So obviously I travel a lot to all of the games of football and stuff. So this is my kind of like secret time where I say to my wife and my kids, "Oh, I've got a busy old day." I get in the car, get my laptop out in the back, and I'm straight onto Fear City.
See, Jake, what me and Shirley have done is set up 2 TV rooms at either end of the house, so I can watch something dark and disgusting, and she can watch something happy.
If I got to the end of a day and I said to Harriet, just going to pop to the other end of the house, that would not go down well.
No, it's really good, because then you meet in the middle for a bit of dinner, and then you separate again.
Yeah. No, but what he does is he basically just says to my mum about a programme that he goes, "Oh, I really think we should watch this thing. It's called Fear City. What's that? You don't want to watch it?
Bye.
I'll watch it over there. I'll watch it over there."
The secret to a happy marriage. Time apart.
Time apart. Now, hopefully that's your week ahead sorted. And after the break, they've locked down together so they can bring their play back into production. Stephen Tompkinson and Jessica Johnson tell us about their new production of Educating Rita.
Plus, we're going to go head-to-head in our final game. So see you in a few minutes.
Welcome back to Martin and Roman's Sunday Best.
Ranvir, Singh, Jake Humphrey have been here all morning, but now it's time to welcome our final guests.
Yes, you may have thought that going out to the theatre was was a distant dream. That was my theatre impression. But our next guests have found a way to bring the stage back to life. They're currently busy rehearsing the 40th anniversary production of Educating Rita. Please put your hands together, Stephen Tompkinson and Jessica Johnson. Welcome to the show, guys. I mean, tell us, how can we actually go to the theatre in 2020?
Aha. Well, there's a beautiful theatre down in Cornwall called the Manac, the open-air theatre. It's really quite unique and spectacular. So luckily for us, we're getting to go down there and do Educating Rita.
And they're able to stick to all the regulations that we need, and people will be very safe. The tickets have been going great. It just feels nice to get back to a bit of shared normality and a bit of escapism.
I know that theatre, and Jake, do you know it? The Minac down in Cornwall?
I think we went on a family holiday once and we went and had a look at it during the day. And
it is the most beautiful place you've ever seen, isn't it? You know, it's just a jewel in the crown.
Mediterranean. It's, we did have a nice lady who's booked to come and see the show twice. Once for the view, and then she's coming back to take notice of the play.
Guys, I mean, you must be so excited to be rehearsing again. I mean, how has it been so far?
Well, it's been lovely. I mean, we got the lockdown happened when we were halfway through the second outing of the tour. So we felt awful about letting people down that had booked tickets for further venues, and we're desperate to honour that commitment in a way, and we're just delighted to be getting the opportunity.
Now, guys, I'm quite new to Educating Rita. I mean, what can you kind of tell us about it, and how important is it to you guys to be doing this?
Well, it's about a hairdresser from Liverpool, Rita. That's me, and she enrolls on an open university course. It's a bit of a period piece because it's set in 1979, 1980, and Open University was really quite revolutionary at the time, and she enrolls on the course where she meets Frank,
who's a rather disillusioned and dissolute lecturer who's drinking far much more than he should do, and having to take on this extracurricular open university work, and the first pupil that comes through his door is the amazing Rita, who kind of reinvigorates his passion for life, and these two very disparate people that you follow over an academic year together become very codependent on each other and lifesavers to each other.
But you're well known for doing TV stuff, you know, obviously. What do you prefer, theatre, acting or TV?
Oh, well, if you're doing one, you're missing the other. But the unique thing of the shared experience and the live experience is very hard to replicate, and you know, been sorely missed for a while. So I think everyone's very eager to get out and welcome some live experience back into their lives.
I definitely think so. I mean, Stephen, just quickly as well, what's next on the horizon?
Well, I've recorded the second series of The Bay for ITV, so that'll be coming out. But while our producer is still trying to get this show on, he's talking about us going to the Isle of Man in October, and wherever there's a venue that can accommodate us, we will do our best to give you a show.
Amazing. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you can see Educating Rita at the Open Air Minac Theatre in southwest Cornwall this summer. OK, it's time. Very excited for our final game today, and it is called Odd One Out. Now, our guests are going to try to deceive us. I know. They'll each tell us 3 things that they've done, but one of those things won't be true. The opposite team has to work out which one is the odd one out. Sound simple? It's the classic, this one, yeah? Love it. Sounds great. OK, so Ranvir, you're going to go up first. So what I want you to do is tell us all 3 things, and then we'll ask you some questions afterwards.
Oh, right, OK. So, number 1 is I've kissed one of the most famous 60-somethings on the planet. Number 2 is I've been drunk at number 10 Downing Street.
Ooh. There's the truth right there.
And number 3 is I've got a double-jointed neck.
Whoa. What were you drinking at Downing Street?
Well, vodka.
Oh, they are not serving vodka at Downing. Welcome to 10 Down Street, shot of vodka. How did you realise that you had a double-jointed neck?
Just something that I've always known. In fact, you know when the, you know, Walk Like an Egyptian, that song, was it the Bangles or Banana Run? Somebody brought out that song. Yeah. So I started to do it and I was very good at it.
OK, and...
what was the first one again?
I've kissed one of the most famous 60-somethings on the planet.
OK, so what is this person famous for?
For children's television.
Ooh.
Sounds a bit creepy now, doesn't it?
It does. I am going to say, let's not ask any more questions about that.
We need a guess. What are you going to go for? I might go for Downing Street, you know.
I can't believe that they're serving vodka at Downing Street. If they are, I want to go to Downing Street, right?
Yeah.
It turns out I'm a terrible liar, because you're right.
Oh,
You're right. I mean, I've been to parties at 10 Downing Street. They invite you in at Christmas and things, but yeah, you stay very sober at those events.
Yeah. Now I have to ask who the 60-something is.
Well, I've got a picture of the very moment it happened.
No way, let me see it.
Do you want to see it?
Yeah, let's see the photo.
Mika!
Oh! That's good, by the way.
Yeah. I'm telling Miss Piggy. Jeez.
And the next?
Did you just call me Miss Piggy?
No, I'm telling Miss Piggy. Because that's
I thought you said there's Miss Piggy.
No!
That's what you said. I'm sensitive about my weight. Did I say I've got a stone on?
It's like my mum and dad in. Did you? No, I didn't say that. Very good. Well, listen, Jake.
Can we see the neck? Is that?
No,
Oh, it's quite...
No,
I like it.
I think you can just move your neck. I mean,
is that it?
It's quite...
So I've been dining out on the fact that I've got a double-jointed neck. Should I just scrap that from now on?
I get it.
I'm trying to go with it.
Now, Jake, your turn. Go on then. Give them your best.
OK. When Prince William married Kate, I was in the Lancaster bomber that flew over Buckingham Palace as the royals walked out onto the balcony.
Oh, that's quite heavy, isn't it?
Very specific.
But I can imagine him there.
Yeah.
I've only ever been fired from one job.
Oh.
It was in the early 2000s. I was working at McDonald's. I was told the reason why I'd been fired was I lacked the relevant communication skills. In 2010, Lewis Hamilton took me around Silverstone in a two-seater Formula One car. He's the greatest current Formula One driver, possibly the greatest ever. He crashed the car at the very first corner.
All right, so did anyone get hurt in the crash?
No, it was just, you know, for him it's probably no big deal. For me, I was just a little bit shaken.
They didn't take you to hospital or anything like that?
No,
check you over?
But when you get in those cars, you get a button to hold down, and you get in the car and they say, right, you've got a button in the back, you need to hold the button down the whole time. And you're like, yeah, OK, I've got the button, why do I have to hold this? And they say, well, if you release the button, a light comes on the dashboard and we know you've passed out. That is how intense it is in a two-seater Formula One car, which, by the way, is about 60% of an actual Formula One car, and whoever drives you round in these things tends not to go full pelt, you know.
So were you broadcasting at Kate and Will's wedding? Is that why you were...
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So
I was broadcasting for the BBC as part of their coverage.
So that sounds quite realistic to me. I'm trying to picture it, though. I'm trying to remember where...
But those things are so noisy, right? Can you imagine in broadcasting from one of those things? It'd be like...
Yeah, but they gave me a special microphone.
And here we are at the Wills' wedding!
Basically,
it was very small, and I had to sit at the back, and I had to work... I was meant to have talkback the whole time. I lost everything as soon as we took off. I was then looking out the window the whole time, and suddenly I saw the Olympic Park, and I thought, we're going to have a Buckingham Palace any second. So I climbed through to try and get to the point where I was meant to be broadcasting. I stood up in front of the camera, did a rehearsal, and then suddenly the plane went, and I thought, oh, that's weird. And I looked out, and we'd gone past Buckingham Palace. So the line that I was meant to deliver, which, by the way, was on the world feed to an audience of billions around the planet,
missed it.
Well, you saw a little bit of it. And then, as I was on the train on the way home, there was people going, what happened on the plane, mate?
Yeah. See, I believe all of that story until you got to the end. The people on the train. What do you reckon?
The crash.
Okay. You think it was the crash?
I think the crash is a lie.
I think it's McDonald's.
OK.
Because
go with yours. Can I go with yours?
No, I'm going to go with yours, because you're the guest.
No, OK.
I'm going to go with yours.
No, I'm going to go with yours. I've changed my mind.
No,
the McDonald's story. I can't.
Go on, pick.
The McDonald's one. The McDonald's one.
OK. Yeah. The crash was the lie.
I can't believe you actually got of fine from McDonald's. That is unreal.
Yeah.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, I think we know the score, but let's make it official. Grandma Maureen, it's up to you to reveal the results. Who won? Myself or my dad? Maureen?
That game, Roman won.
Yes.
Overall, it's a draw.
It's a draw. We'll take that. We'll take that. We'll take a draw today. Yeah. We'll take a 1-1. That is our lot for today. If that's not enough for you.
Yeah, you can go now, Maureen.
Yeah, all right. We haven't come to the end of the show yet. Listen, she doesn't want to watch it again, but if you want to watch it again, you can catch up on the ITV Hub.
Huge thanks to our wonderful Grandma Maureen. The Smithy family. Ranvir Singh.
And also thanks to the Grant family and Jake Humphrey.
We're back next Sunday with the Voice Kids judge, Danny Jones, Vamp star Bradley Simpson.
Thank you so much for spending your morning with us. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
See you guys.